we have here this first example that will be exemplify this validation that we have, especially useful when we are handling a large amount of dependencies. I don't know if you all know that we have in the TCE files a prerequisites property that is letting you to add some dependencies, other TCJS files as dependencies that could be depending on each other. So this is a validation to help the user in the developer process to avoid these kind of cyclic in these situations, and help the developer to handling properly. We have here this example in the top TCJS file that is warning us about this cyclic that has both these three files, top, lib, and lib2. We can go to these references here by clicking here, and also it's in this file, the warning. And these three files are involved. Same that we can see in this problems view in a more descriptive way that, well, we start with the top. We see that this top has these three dependencies, and this is making us letting know that this is a cycle of these three. We can handle this by breaking the cyclic, and well, the same for this, and we can let the user handling this by itself. We can see that we have we're presenting here. Sorry. When we have this kind of message here, we have also this reference to the documentation of this validation that is well, pointing us to have it here, and we can well, let us read a little more about these specific prerequisites, and well, we see the example that exemplify this here too. And also there is a huge advantage to have these all prerequisites in a single view, that is the RB view. We can also see displayed the dependencies on these TC files, and this is a tree built for all the TCs that we have included in the workspace. So that's a huge advantage to have it all gathered here, from where we can handle the builds, running, and even cleaning each of these TCS files. So that is my presentation, and that's all for me.
So my name is Mary Ellen Kerr, and I'll be demoing Node.js web application, which works with the TCP range counter sample. As its name implies, the sample implements a counter that starts at a minimum value and increments until it reaches a maximum value. The Node.js web app uses the RT test probe node module, and you could read about this node module in the NPM site. Specifically, the node module contains a number of JavaScript utilities, which lets you send and invoke events to code RealTime that uses the TCP server library. It also lets you intercept outgoing events sent and invoked by the code RealTime application. Let's see. So the key part of the web app is the index JavaScript file. And you can see the web app is actually, the code for it is packaged in the TCP range counter sample itself under this client-UI folder. So the important and key part of it is the index JavaScript file. And as you can see, it uses and requires the RT test probe node module. And basically it uses it to send events like resume counting, set max, set min, and delta. Delta has to do with the increment that you want to use when counting. So here we have the top terminal session, and this is where the TCP range counter was sample was started, and it's listening for the TPT requests on port 12345. So the sample, once you start it, starts counting up to its maximum 10 by default. Here we have a node terminal session that was started to start the Node.js web app. And first, npm install is done to download the packages and dependencies that the web app requires. And then npm start is entered, and then the TCP range counter client would listen on port 3000 by default. Of course, it will then send the events to port 12345, since that's what the top range counter sample is listening on. So if you, here's the web app here. You can select a different event type, and I'm going to specify that the maximum number is 20. I happen to be running the sample on my local VM, and since the port that the range counter is listening on, by default it's 12345. So when I submit this, then you could look at the fact that the TCP range counter sample now received the event, and it also acknowledged it by indicating that the max value was set to 20. So then I could change that to the minimum amount that I want to start counting at. So I submit that, and then in the top terminal session where the TCP range counter sample is has started is set to 1. And also I could change it to the delta event to say 1. It's acknowledged that that event was received. And finally, I could set it to resume, and it can resume counting. And that's pretty much the demo. Are there any questions?